What's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, and today we're going over an update on one of my most fun savage decks ever, Infernoids, baby. The way I like to play them is just pure. You can do the 60 card route, you can do invoked, hand traps. There's a lot of builds you can do, but I think the most savage build is just the pure. They really underestimate just pure 40 card Infernoids and what they can do. This deck is really scary. What it can do, how it can break boards, its ability to OTK, its ability to go first and control everything that you do. It's well-rounded. It can do both, which I like a lot. So it's not limited or restricted in that matter or aspect where it's like, oh, it's only good at one thing. It's good at a lot of different things. It's very flexible. So let's go ahead and hop into the main deck. So the Infernoids are broken down into the categories of what I call the level 3s, the level 2s, and the level 1s. The level 3s are the big ones, the mama and the daddy. So starting with the level 3s, you play 2 daddy and 2 mama. Anunchu and Deviati are pretty infamous by now. They're known as the Raigeki in Heavy Storm. And that's basically what they do. He's a Raigeki, she's a Heavy Storm. He destroys all of their monsters besides itself. She destroys all back rows that are not void, spells, or traps. And also they have abilities on the field where they could tribute themselves, or they could tribute another monster you control. They just tribute a monster to negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect, depending which one you have. This one negates spells and traps. This one negates monsters. And then if you do, you banish it. So you negate and banish. These are really powerful. And as long as you tribute something that's not them, you keep the negation on the field. So if you have an extra monster, even if it's another Noid, you just tribute that, keep negating. Really strong. These also turn your Decatron into weapons. So 2 mama, 2 daddy. Then for your level 2 Infernoids, you play 2 Atandel, 1 Satamis, and 1 Jet. So I played 2 Atandels because there's combos where I need one of these in my main deck at all times. So like if I accidentally draw it, or if I need to drop it, for example, like off of like, I don't know, like a fusion play, or just like any kind of a play like that, like where I have to send one to the grave, then I need one in main deck to do my Decatron combo where I go into Calamities. You basically just go, you summon Deviani, you wipe their back rows, then you normal summon Decatron, dump this, Decatron's level becomes 9, you overlay these two into a rank 9, bam, just like that. So I need one in main deck at all times for that. And also, it's not bad to get 2 on field when you're under Void Imagination. If you do Void Imagination, you could just swing. And then also, if you look at his level, he's 3, 6, 8. And then if you read them, as long as the ranks of all the levels and ranks of all effect monsters you control are 8 or lower, you can summon another one. So you summon him, you could still summon one more. So you could summon 2 of him, and that's very aggressive because they attack twice. And basically, instead of negating, these ones are just DD Crows during either player's turn. This one's really cool. I don't really use this effect, but it's pretty cool. So basically, when he declares an attack, you banish 1 monster from your opponent's extra deck. And he's a DD Crow as well. And this Atomis helps you to get over anything. If he attacks into the battle phase, banish a card on the field. Doesn't target, doesn't destroy. So those are your level 2s. You don't play so many of the big ones. If you notice, you play just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're not trying to play too many of them because they're bricks in hand. You have to take major necks to summon them from hand, but when they're engraved, they serve better purposes. The best level 1 Infernoid is Decatron. And the level 1s are just basically, you just have to banish 1 Infernoid to summon them. The level 2s, you banish 2. The level 3s, you banish 3. And for every one of the Infernoids that you have to banish more to summon, they have more powerful effects. So Decatron's just any Infernoid. And he's going to, increase and manipulate his level. He gains any of their effects, which is crazy. So you can normal him, dump your mama or daddy, and he's instantly like a negator on field. And he makes your feast place like crazy. And then I do play 3 Patrulia because I feel like back row is pretty strong in the Draco matchup and also in the Trickstar matchup. And the fact that this guy's 18, Kandina has to crash into him, and he outs the back rows at the same time, which is really powerful. So I like him a lot. Patrulia is just insane, even for the rank 4 plays that he provides. And then we do play 3 hard dicks. Pipe it up, pipe it up. I like hard dick a lot because he breaks boards. Like, you can drop multiples. It's just crazy. Like this little 1600 monster, he pops a monster. He can pop a monster that you wasted so much resources to make. He just outs it instantly. And you just pay the cost of banishing 1 Infernoid from hand or grave. Special him, pop. If you have another one, special pop. And you can even combo him with Void Seer. You can play his effect, and then they try to negate you. Chain Seer, he's unaffected, so he guarantees pops the monster. So he does help breaking boards. In fact, all Infernoids do is actually break boards. Like, if you look at all their abilities, they don't have effects that say like draw cards, search cards. They have effects that say get rid of this card and do this with it. Get this card, put it somewhere else. They just clear cards on the field. This one's MST. This one's basically Exile Force, but it doesn't tribute. It just pops a monster. Once per turn, there's no cost to popping. You just target for cost. And then Antra bounces face-ups. I like him because he doesn't destroy. Sometimes like a card like Beals that can be destroyed, for example, you want to use him to get over it. And then we also have Permeus. Permeus is an Infernoid that most don't play, but he targets any set card and shuffles it to the deck. That targeted card cannot be activated in response to his effect. So he'll stop a strike, he'll stop a barrier, because barrier does hurt this deck. This deck's biggest play is when it fusions. So if they barrier call fusion, you're like, man, you're gonna be mad. So you just want to Permeus that back row. So like I was saying, like if you're going first, you're trying to avoid feast. So going first is fine. You want to open up with Arvada and feast and get, you know, 3 negates. But if you're going second, you want to go pop your back row, pop your monster, bounce your card, shuffle your card, and then Raigeki Heavy Storm. And then like attack, banish, attack twice, like banish, just they're savage, man. That's why I say they're savage. And the only non-Infernoid monster that I play in my deck is 3 Arvada, because she's a negate. Arvada guarantees that my feast resolves, guarantees that my void vanishment resolves, guarantees that my future fusion resolves. It just says you cannot Ash Blossom me. And it even helps you to play through boards going second, because you can break boards with Void Imagination. Because like if they have a Vortex and stuff like that, like you can basically play this and use 6 materials from your deck, and you pretty much Raigeki and break their board after that. So if you play this first and then activate it and they try to negate it, you chain his effect, negate it, that's 1 negate baited, and then it's resolved now, so you just go off. And its effect to send itself from the field to grave is not a spell or trap activating, so they can't Vortex or Naruto at that point. So this guarantees that it's activated. Once it's activated, you just send it to the grave, and then you just blow their field up. You go Tierra and Natisse. It's crazy. So this deck is very skillful. It's very scary, man. I'm telling you, it's a powerful deck. 3 Arvada. Then for your spells, your power plays, 3 future fusions. I don't have the errata one. In fact, I completely forgot that this card was errata. I think there was a duel when I played against one of my homeboys, his Blue Eyes, where I was using this on the first turn I activated it, and then somebody told me you have to wait the second to the first standby after it's activated to send the fusions, and then the second standby to actually fusion summon. But you send the materials in the first standby. So in Infernoids, this is very, very powerful, because when you already activate this card, it basically says either you like kill me next turn or I'm gonna kill you next turn. So you have 1 turn to live. Like if you Ash, it's not gonna work because I have Decatron and Arvada, and I have ways to search them from my deck to make sure I can always negate Ash Blossom or negate a monster effect that would stop it. So it guarantees that this resolves. When you resolve this, you send every single Infernoid from your deck to your grave, and they die after that. There's no way you're not gonna win. Future Fusion is just insane. It's an absolute 3-up. It's a win condition. Like you literally win when you resolve it. And then we have 3 Void Vanishment. It searches. It's your engine. You can also banish a Infernoid and a monster that the Infernoid's battling. So it helps you to get over things. So like I said, this deck's powerful going second. It gets over like everything. It breaks any board, even a True Draco board, even if it's anti-spells and all that. It doesn't matter. 3 Void Imagination, it's insane. It allows you to play your Infernoids as many times as you want, because now all their levels become 1. Instead of like whatever they were, it just becomes 1. And then also, all the battle damage they inflict becomes half. That's the drawback. But it's smart because you can kill them with just 2 Noids. And then also it has an ability where if your opponent controls a monster that's in the extra deck, like an extra deck monster, you basically get to send this card you control to the graveyard, and you basically like you fusion summon. Let me read it. Let me read it properly. All right, I'm sorry. You can send this card to the graveyard to fusion summon an Inferno fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as materials. But if your opponent has an extra deck monster, you can use up to 6 materials from your deck. That's the part I always use, because if I'm not playing Dracos, they're gonna have an extra deck monster, so I just play this for free like shit all fusion. And it also puts pressure, because if they don't negate it, they're probably gonna die. So like it's kind of like a baiter too. It's really good, and it even can be better like in a Draco matchup, because even though you don't use materials from your deck, if you have the ability to make Tierra, they're gonna die. You're gonna Elder Entity Natisse, hit 3 of their cards, and then bring out Deviati, wipe all their spells and traps, and then you would just attack over Masterpiece, like with the Nunchu or something like that. Or you can even use this this spell to just banish the Masterpiece and the Deviati if you need to So you can get over anything. Then you have 3 10 keys to search your Arvada because Arvada's in crazy. Like, he's that crazy. He's that good. You want to play 6 of him. And then for one of, this is an awkward one of. I play one pot. I don't want to see pot early. That's why I just play one of it. I was thinking about playing 2 because I'm like, it makes no sense to play 1, but I do see it a lot. It's crazy. It's like, whenever you play Pot of Desires in any deck, for some reason you draw it a lot. It's weird. It's like this card is naturally warped or something. Pot of Desires in any deck, you're always going to see it. But I just play at 1 because I never want to banish my daddy or my mommy. A Nunchu and Deviati have to be in your deck for a lot of your cards to resolve. So this is risky, but sometimes you have to. And then Void Seer, 1 for 1, God card. And then Rekindling, just to bring back your Avadas and your Decatrons, just to win more. OTK. Then your traps. The standard is 3 Void Feast. It's pretty easy to resolve this card. You resolve it, you're going to get 2 negates and then a DD Crow. You resolve it under Arvada, you have 3 negates and a DD Crow. So that's 4 forms of disruption. It's not hard once per turn, so you can resolve another one and do the same thing, so you can have 4 negates. You just have to tribute 1 and then play it so that you'll have, you know, only 2 monsters because it summons 3. And then another spicy tech that I play is Eye of the Void. Sometimes I brick, sometimes I have Infernoid that I don't want in my hand, but I need to make use of it. This is searchable, so I'll search this, flip it on my opponent's turn, and it can protect me from OTKs because I'll just special Deviati or a Nunchu or any of the big guys. Their effects are negated, but they're summoning, ignoring their summoning conditions. So it doesn't matter if your levels or ranks are higher than 8, doesn't matter. It's ignoring its conditions. And then it stays on the field after that. So it's just a free beater. And then once it hits the grave, you can bring it back using the ability of it. So that's pretty much it for the main deck. I think it's 41 or 42 cards because the Eye of the Void and the, what was it, the Rekindling. Now your extra deck, you play 1 Tiara because you're only ever going to summon this card once. It comes up sometimes, but I always save a Mommy and a Daddy for a Void Feast and then another Mommy and Daddy for my Fusion. Because you only play 2 of each of them, so you have to use the Mom and the Dad to summon this card every time. So, like, the only way to summon the second one is to summon Deviati and summon a Nunchu from the grave, and then Fusion using them and other Infernoids to make the second tier. But you're never supposed to make another one, because once you make one, it's game, I promise you. And then 3 Natees, you're dumping this with her effect, and you're breaking any board. Like, it's crazy. Natees is savage. And then True King of all Chlamydia, Baguska, which is Syphilis. Leviair combos really well. It's easy to make, and you just banish so much. You want to bring back a Decatron, and then use Decatron's effect, and just dump something so you can gain another effect. So it's like an extender. And then for your synchros, we play Omega, Scarlight, and Black Rose. You want to be aggro, so I make these more, but Omega's still pretty easy to make because Decatron manipulates his level. And you don't play Omega to hand loop, you play him to put your banished resources back into your grave because Infernoid's banished a lot. And then, yeah, Board Load, Decode, Underclock, and Doolittle. All these links are just win mores because they have no level, so you just put more damage on board for you to OTK because this deck can OTK like nobody's business. I don't play Skull Dread because it's never ever came up where I had 4 different names that I actually wanted to get rid of all 4 of them just to make a Skull Dread. Because when you have 4 monsters with different names on the field with Infernoids, that means you already have game. So what's the point of like doing anything extra? If you got game, you don't need to do anything else, just attack. So that's pretty much it for the Infernoid deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below your honest opinion and feedback on my deck. Be it negative or positive, I'm going to receive it the same way. I'm not a sensitive guy. I can take it. Constructive criticism. And also, stay tuned for my True Draco, True King Weather Painters. And also, I'm going to be updating my True King Yang Zings, and that's a treat because it's been a while since I've done that. And I know a lot of my subscribers love that deck. But peace out, yo. Y'all be safe. Have a beautiful night, and you will be hearing from me soon. Peace.